What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here with your top 5 stories from the past 24 hours. Today, if we were doing an honest top 5, we would talk only about The Walking Dead. So we're going to toss in a couple stories to mix it up a little bit with some Marvel, WWE, and Alien news. Yeah, Alien. All that and more in Comic Book Now. The Walking Dead returned for its 7th season on Sunday night after months of the world begging to know who Negan killed. The episode hauled in a monstrous audience. The ratings are out, increasing the numbers from the season 6 finale, which had fans promising to boycott the show in the aftermath of the cliffhanger. The episode hauled in over 17 million viewers to watch a couple of Alexandrians get their heads bashed in live, making it the second most watched episode of the entire series behind the season 5 premiere, which saw the group escaping Terminus at the rescue of Carol. However, Negan's victim was not rescued from his comic book death in the season 7 premiere. Glenn had his head bashed in, spoiler alert, and it was one of the most brutal moments ever on television. Not only has the Parents Television Council spoken out against the series, but a Connecticut mayor has canceled Halloween. That's right, Mayor Mark Boughton was so distraught over the deaths of Glenn and Abraham, spoiler alert, I'm going to say it every time afterwards, you should know it by now, that he canceled Halloween. A couple of other tweets, which get even more drastic, would indicate he was joking. But hell, save the money on candy homeowners. Tell the kids Negan ruined Halloween. Make him even more of a villain. Moving on, how about something a little bit brighter, a little more lighthearted, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe? How about a team-up? Michael Douglas, the original Ant-Man, Hank Pym, wants to see his character suit up for a crossover with none other than Hawkeye. In a recent interview with Cinema Blend, Douglas said he is hopeful there will be a moment in the future where Jeremy Renner and himself have the chance to be in a Marvel film together. If that moment is ever going to come true, it will happen in Avengers Infinity War most likely, though Hawkeye tends to pop up in a lot of movies unexpectedly. I don't know, see Iron Man 2, Thor, whole bunch of films. The Avengers, that wasn't his movie, although he was a bad guy. Anyway, a few rumors have popped up recently of some wrestlers returning to the ring, namely Bubba Ray Dudley as his heel role Bully Ray. But one man you should not expect to see stunning anybody anytime soon, or probably ever by the sounds of it, is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I know, I'm devastated. Legendary commentator Jim Ross addressed whether the Texas Rattlesnake will be coming back for one more match ever, and he said, nope, Austin is done wrestling. However, no one knows when he might make an appearance. And that's the bottom line, because Jim Ross said so. Finally, Alien Covenant will introduce a new alien, and its name has been revealed, the Neomorph. Michael Fassbender let the name slip with BBC Two's Steve Wright recently. I recently had the chance to hear about the film's plot, and it will build heavily on Prometheus, which you may look at as a good thing or a bad thing. I did not like Prometheus, and I know a lot of fans who like the Alien franchise were not too big of fans either. I'll tell you this much, there is some big action sequences, to no surprise. But most importantly, it features a pretty solid twist towards the end, which will tie into the previous Prometheus movie. That said, the movie is still almost a year away. Things can change, and it is set for release on August 2nd, 2017. Now I'm going to turn it over to fan questions. Let's see what you guys want to talk about today. I still want to know what you guys think of The Walking Dead premiere, because I was not here to read your comments yesterday, and I won't be here for the rest of the week as I'm headed to South Carolina tomorrow to the set of Outcast, and then I will be in Atlanta for the rest of the weekend for Walker Stalker Con, talking to everybody from The Walking Dead cast. So if you have questions for me, this is your chance. Cancel Halloween. Let's make a town law for no dancing. I'm not sure where that comes from, Kim Deans. But I don't think any Walking Dead fans are dancing. Maybe AMC is, though, after the stock rocketed with that 17 million viewer audience. I'm wondering how many people are going to stick around for next week's episode, with how many people are saying this was too much. Now, it was really violent, I'll give you that. But the Parents Television Council has started to just rip the episode apart, saying it was way too violent for TV. Here's an idea, change the channel. No way, I'm excited for the new Alien. I enjoyed Prometheus. I don't know, am I the unpopular opinion in not liking Prometheus? What do we got here? Do we have any War of the Planet of the Apes news, asks Wim. It's going to be awesome, I can tell you that. We have an interview up on YouTube, or you can probably Google search it with Comicbook.com at the end of your search. I got to talk to the director and the producer, executive producer at New York Comic Con. They showed some exclusive footage. They showed 7 minutes, actually, of footage, and it just seems like Caesar is almost a bad guy now. It's very comparable to The Walking Dead, actually. The world is falling apart. Caesar is your Rick Grimes. He has lost his morals, and he's doing whatever it takes to survive after being betrayed so many times. He's totally lost all hope in humanity, it seems like. But it just seems like a big movie, bigger than any of the other films. And Woody Harrelson's Colonel character looks like a savage. Why doesn't Ryan Reynolds just direct Deadpool 2? Because what has Ryan Reynolds ever directed? I'm really upset to see Tim Miller leave that, and it sounds like he was kind of bullied out of it, which makes you look at Ryan Reynolds a little differently. It just stinks because you know that Deadpool was Tim Miller's baby. I know that Ryan Reynolds obviously contributed so much to it, and he brought Deadpool to life amazingly. But it sucks to see Tim Miller because, as a director, he has to be so upset to lose that project. I'm sure he was so passionate about. What's the deal with Dwight? Another character we have an exclusive interview on After the Dead Sunday night. We had Austin Amelio live, and we asked him what's the deal with Dwight. We asked him what he's doing with Daryl, and you can check that out on comicbook.com/The Walking Dead. Zombieland 2, it's coming. They actually gave it a release date recently. I can't remember. I think it's 2018. It's going to be a while, but Zombieland 2 is coming, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the cast is returning for that, which is super exciting. Tallahassee, Little Rock, all of them will be back. Has TWD jumped the shark? I think TWD has peaked, but I don't think it jumped the shark. I think they did exactly what they had to do with that premiere, made it as violent as it had to be. They have everybody talking about it just like they did after the premiere, but I don't think the ratings will ever get that high again. I can't imagine they'll build a buzz like they had this summer ever again. Is the X-Men universe doomed? After this, we'll take one more question, so fire away. Is the X-Men universe doomed? I don't think so. I think after Hugh Jackman, they're going to have to do a really good job of building characters aside from Wolverine, which has been tough for them so far. But given how many great X-Men characters there are, it's definitely possible. That said, Deadpool is going to be, I think, the franchise for Fox going forward. But you have X-Force, you have all these different X-Men movies that they're planning on. It's going to be a while before we see any of them again, but I think they're going to continue to run that confusing little timeline thing they got going on. Yeah. Do you think Logan will be the closest thing to a Last of Us movie? Oh, that's a great last question. Thank you, Leo Farrell. The Last of Us is actually my favorite video game of all time. I think it's going to be, I think we're going to get a Last of Us movie eventually, but I think Logan will be very close to that. But it's not going to be about saving X-23's life, I don't think, as much as The Last of Us was about keeping Ellie alive and finding a cure, a way to save the world. I think Logan hates the world in that movie. I think he's going to resent the world for what it has portrayed him as and looked at him as, while Joel and Ellie were trying to find a way to bring the world back to what it was and not fight who they really are, while Logan is going to be Wolverine fighting who he really is for most of the movie. But we will get a Last of Us movie. I know that Sony is still working on that and tossing that idea around, that I know we're going to get a Last of Us sequel. That video game is coming. They're working on it right now. So that's all we have time for today, guys. Like I said, I won't be here. It will be our co-workers, probably Lucas Siegel or Chris Killian, our co-hosts, and for the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will be on the set of Outcast, speaking with Robert Kirkman and the cast of that show. So if you have any questions for them, shoot them my way on Twitter at BrandonDavisBD. We'll get all your Outcast scoop up there. And in the meantime, make sure you're following ComicBook.com across all of social media, at ComicBook on Twitter, at ComicBook Now on Instagram. I'll see you guys soon.